Governor Charlie Crist challenges state lawmakers to navigate treacherous financial waters as a $3 billion tsunami threatens to swamp Florida's budget. Who's positioned to win in session 2010? All of that on Power Play this week with our guests, Gary Fineout of the Florida Tribune and Bill Cotterell of the Tallahassee Democrat. Governor Crist gives his fourth and final State of the State, and arguably it was his best and strongest delivered.
Yes, it was very forceful. It was almost more a campaign speech than an actual.
Nothing wrong with that.
As opposed to a State of the State speech. But in it, he, of course, he kind of came out very forcefully with the stimulus, and he took some not-so-veiled threats at his rival, Marco Rubio.
He smacked him down pretty good, didn't he?
Well, I noticed that they didn't distribute copies of the speech or post it online until he was actually in the chamber speaking, because obviously they wanted to keep it out of the Rubio campaign's hands for as long as possible. Usually we get the text a few hours, at least a few hours ahead of time.
But I thought the governor in the speech had a stronger defense, though none might be necessary, for his support of stimulus dollars for Florida. If the money's coming, we got to get our fair share than we've heard before.
Yes, and I think he played the hand that was dealt him. He could hardly get up there and repeat his gaffe of late last year where, you know, I never really supported it in the first place.
And by the way, what the heck's wrong with hugging a president of either party when he's visiting your state? A man hug, HR appropriate. What's wrong with that?
I mean, I think it's a visual that's come back to haunt him again and again. Now, I mean,
that's just political.
But I talked to some consultants, and I mean, they have said, look, the stimulus, it's like a four-letter word with Republicans. So in essence, he took a gamble. He took a risk that, no, I'm going to go out there. I am going to forcefully defend myself. I'm going to try to paint Rubio as being an inflexible, destructive ideologue. Now, the question is, will this help him? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting move.
Well, speaking of stimulus money, it's not going to be around forever, and lawmakers are positioned to have to whack $3 billion out of the state budget. Money, or the lack of it's driving everything.
Yes, I think that every year they come in and they say, well, it's going to be a tight budget year, and we're certainly an election year, we're not going to have any new taxes. This year is really the worst I've seen, I think, probably ever in many, many years. And there is, I think, great momentum to cut. It makes some really horrible, painful cuts.
So how do you do this if you're a lawmaker with education, children's programs, elder services, health care? What's going to win? What's going to lose?
Well, I think state workers are definitely going to lose. I mean, I think that's without a doubt. They're going to come out and probably whack them pretty hard
and have to pay for their own health care in part.
It could be pay for their health care. It could be have to pay for their retirement. I mean, there's a whole long list of things they could do. I also think that we could see some sizable changes to the way the Medicaid program is run, which, I mean, and think about it politically. I mean, come on. I mean, changing Medicaid, yes, it has great ramifications to the poor of the state, but politically, does it cost them a lot of votes? I mean,
and didn't the governor kind of hit at least a outfield, double when he said that government could be half its size and twice its effectiveness?
Yeah, I thought he was telegraphing the message there that he's, without coming out specifically for any of those proposals Gary just mentioned, I think all of those are very much on the table and very likely have a lot of momentum behind them.
So far, these leaders, the Speaker, the President, key committee chairs, anybody jockeying for position politically, or is the session doing its business so far?
I mean, I think the session is already off to an interesting start, and one that I think is I think it's actually going to get a heck of a lot more partisan. I mean, I think we're already seeing the inkling. I mean, I think there are a lot of votes that are on the line that are coming down that they're going to say, Democrats, we're gonna take it to you with a stick.
And can you remember this early, Bill? Lawmakers talking about having a budget cobbled together before March is over.
That may be the legacy of Ray Sansom because of the little snooker there with the airport deal. They're going to get the thing out early. Everybody will have a chance to look at it very thoroughly, examine it, whether they will or not. And at least afterward, they can't say we didn't know what was in there.
Okay, guys, we're going to go to your respective power plays of the week. Bill.
The Speaker, Larry Creedle, a few hours before the State of the State speech, he told the House at the opening of the session, we're going to budget the money we've got, not the money that we really likely think we're going to get. We're going to limit it to what's in our checkbook at this time. I think that certainly set the tone, and it's what we're going to see.
Gary?
Oh, I mean, I think it has to be the governor. I mean, Crist came out this week and hammered Rubio, and not just in the speech, but he's continued to hammer Rubio and try to present this image that, I'm going to defend myself and I'm going to go on the attack. I mean, I think this is going to be the start of, between here and August, he is going to attempt to be on the offense from here on out.
And I'm going to go with Representative Will Weatherford and Senator Don Gates making huge progress on right-sizing class size even in the first week of session. Gary Fineout, Bill Cotterill, thank you very much. Hope your session is going to go smooth and your hours are short, though I know otherwise. Go to the Safety Review for the latest political news, and we'll see you next time on Power Play.